So hello guys, welcome back to yet another demo review with me, Threat, the coach of NIP. Last time I reviewed one of your demos. We got a lot of requests that I was gonna review a pro match. And that's what I'm doing today. I'm actually gonna review Gambit versus Virtus.pro. We're seeing a rise here of teams from the CIS region. So let's look at the two of the hottest teams. It's these two and the Spirit. These two played in the finals of Katowice. So let's go. I'm gonna start with the first weapon round on Overpass between these two teams. And we're gonna see how they have a really good understanding of the meta. It looks really simple, but there's a lot of thought process behind this. So if you start here first, even before I press play, I'm actually gonna talk about the weapons. So you can see on Gambit, they won the pistol round, they converted, they bought 3 MP9s and they have 2 FAMASes, right? VP went for a full eco, and if you look at their money, they're on 4K, over 4K each actually. Which means that Gambit, they're very aware that they will be outgunned in this round, right? So they sort of have to think, okay, we need to take a risk. What's very common, and very common from VP, is that they go for these fast B plays. That they go for fast monster plays, so they take sewers and push cat. There's a lot of different plays you can do here. What's common then for the CTs, especially when you're low on money, is that you overstack the B site. Usually with 4 people early, because you can gain early information on A by just having one guy playing like around this area on A. So you still have time to rotate. Now this is where it gets a bit tricky, right? So knowing this, Gambit expects VP to exploit this on A, and that's why they want to go heavy on A instead, because they don't think that Virtus.pro is going to take the risk when they have better weapons and just go for the fast B play. And we can watch the round here. So what we see here is we're going to see one of the A guys in this case, because there's going to be 3 guys on A. It's going to throw the monster smoke. I'm going to fast forward a bit here. See, he's going to, okay, see that guy throwing the monster smoke. It was Shiro, 30 monster smokes, and then he went too long. So if you look at the overview now, Shiro threw the smoke to monster here. He went too long. You don't really need the good spawn, especially if you're just gonna peek from angles around here. Like there's no point in running there immediately. You might as well smoke monster. This means that interns and Nafany, they both have their smoke left. So you can see a Nafany and interns. And here's where sort of the trap element of this round comes in. They have 2 guys here. This is very uncommon, and it is a very big risk. If VP knew this, they could literally go through the monster smoke with a pop flash, and I would probably give them like a 95+% chance of winning the round. Because look at the rotation, like there's not gonna be there in Hobbit's position, even though he's going down underpass. It's really tough to do this push. You can see he also has a FAMAS, right? Okay, so let's see what happens here. We see early sewers control here from VP. Playing it very passive. They're afraid that they're gonna get peeked here by pushing MP9s. Didn't see any Molotov, so they didn't have to put it out. Can just play it very safe. See Buster here, also very passive, just keeping checks on things on A. And Hobbit here, just showing that he's down underpass. He's very safe here because he has 2 guys behind him on A. Though if he runs back, obviously his rotation towards B will be very slow. And he goes for the gamble play here. This is a big risk, but he knows he has to take a risk considering their money. Goes down to Kickert, and now things gets very tricky here, right? They're very spread out. You have 2 guys over here in bathrooms on A and 2 guys on B. This is obviously this is actually something I dislike. I think at this point they need to make a play or sort of fall back. Because if you consider the situation here, if VP just went B here, you just lose. You can't. Okay, you can defend with 2 people, but then you need sort of a highlight play, right? So it's not a good way to approach the game. Here we would rather see an over rotation to either A or B. Because then, if you guess wrong, you can at least save your weapons. You can see here, and this is actually what's gonna happen. But here's interns calls that they might go out monster, and here's Shiro rotating back and Axile pushing down. So you could clearly see that Nathani thought the way I was thinking there, that okay, I'm just gonna guess A and just leave interns on B. You always want to leave one guy, because really good teams might send out one scout just to gain information, and if you just kill the scout, they obviously don't have any information. So you want to leave one guy, and interns might get like a sick headshot on the guy peeking from monster that might scare VP going up to the stack. But what happened in reality was interns heard people going towards B. Nathani didn't make his full rotation yet, and he actually went back. Shiro makes a long rotation here, and you can see he's actually very slow. He's still not there. And a bad thing here for VP that I haven't talked about yet is Buster is literally useless in this round. Something I will come back to later. Okay, so here we're basically just gonna see trades. Bomb goes down. Exel gets a nice HE pick there. And now this might get dicey here because you have Buster on the long flank. Though the weaponry is so superior for VP, that is probably gonna be an easy round. Sandy there, but this is still scary, right? But Shiro doesn't know that there's a long flank. See, he's peeking towards monster, peeking towards catwalk, and sure, Buster got that kill from the long flank. Though I mean, you saw the overview, you saw the big risk. If they would have just killed the people here, it would have been really bad. And 90% of the time, the rounds are decided in these trades that happened here immediately. So going for the long flank usually just means that you win the round. A round you've already won, you're just gonna win it bigger. It doesn't make any sense. Though, in all honesty, Buster might have been in a bad position, maybe he threw a fake, so it's hard to know, but sort of going for the sort of old school lurking role, you know, get right, snacks 2014, teams have figured out that that's not a good way to approach the game, because you basically just win less rounds. There is a world there where they get out-traded, and Buster's in CT spawn. You can see where the bomb is planted, right? It's planted there. He can't see the bomb, they can just defuse. Boom. Okay, so now we're gonna look at round 7 between the same teams and the same map. Here we're gonna see VP go for map control, only having Kaikert towards B, so I'm gonna fast forward here. We're gonna see Kaikert here. I'm gonna pause. So Kaikert here is alone towards B, just keeping the CTs honest so they know that they're just not randomly pushing. We're gonna see 2 people underpass from VPR as well, Sanji and Yekindar. They're really gonna go for the sort of slow A squeeze here from underpass. James just keeping tabs along with his op, just positioned here very safely here. Don't want Shiro to go for the random picks here. It's actually kind of interesting because James is famous for being very passive, but that's sort of when you play T-op and Overpass, it is very, very passive. And that's why you see players like Saibu and Simple now have stopped using it on T-Overpass, because you can't really be proactive. It's more of a guessing game because you want to block the CTs from aggressively peeking you. And you see here that pushing underpass now, Yekindar Sanji. Would probably like them to be a bit closer, because if Axile would have played down here, there's not really a trade potential because of this distance here. Okay, he's waiting, so he was aware of this. Okay, now, okay, they push this good. Very, very safe here from, and this is very key, right? Because notice how Buster didn't start pushing Fountain until they cleared this. Because imagine if you're the CT playing bathrooms, right? And you know, you hear steps in underpass, you can't really stay here like around these angles, right? Because obviously you would just be killed from the side from underpass. If you don't have that presence, VP doesn't know if there might be a CT down here, and there might be an op posted around here, which would just then kill Buster. Buster, knowing this, basically just waits for them to take underpass, and then they go for the push. Very safe. You can see James is still posted, waiting for the A-long aggression, which is, in all honesty, at this point, is very unlikely in the round at 1:15. So now through a flash, Sanji is gonna peek out here. Very, very slow-paced game here. See how they really squeeze him. And Shiro, knowing that they took long, is actually forced to fall back. He knows if he goes for the trades here, he probably just gonna get traded. He will get one and die, which is really bad because you lose all the information, you lose the op. So the best decision for him is here is to fall back, even though you don't really want to do that because you're giving up so much space. And you see here, they surrendered A control, falling back here safely. And you see Nafani has actually rotated back from B. And in the meanwhile here, they still have Kiker towards B. And this is very key. He can hold the aggression and also keep a count on the monster smokes. Because look at this. There's no smokes left now for Gambit, which means going for a monster play is obviously very, very strong. And also, them knowing that they've taken all the map control means that Gambit needs to be very honest here defending A. You can see they actually have 3 people positioned on A. And here's where I sort of disagree a bit with Gambit. It's 35 seconds left. And they have like these positions on B. And you look at their utility, Interns has a flash and Hobbit has nothing. Right, so defending B with no utility in these positions, it's very unlikely that you will succeed. And this is something you have to be very proactive with when you play at the high level. You're sort of, are we in positions where we can actually stop them? And in this case, no. Unless you do a highlight reel, right? But you don't want to be in a position where, okay, I have to make a highlight play. And what you could do here instead is sort of push the guys on A to make a play. So maybe go for a more aggressive peek here, gain the information so Nafani can rotate back to B. That would probably be a good play in this scenario. Because now they're just standing here and it's 20 seconds left. Now they started to figure this out. But considering there's no one blocking them close, Kiker just gets the 2 trades on B. And the side is open. I don't exactly remember what happened, but I think they're just gonna save here, right? It looks like they're actually gonna go for this. Okay, so seeing the retake situation, yeah, I think VP here starts to sort of figure out that they're going for the save. And if you look at the economy, Gambit has some money to work with, but VP has nothing. So very unlikely that you're gonna see them push, especially when you have Jame in the team, right? You're gonna go for the save here, and you see they just played safe. They all go back here to the absolute best and safest play to save weapons is right here, because you don't die, and literally the only way CTs can push you is like from here, or I don't know, like it's very awkward. It's just an example of a very, very solid round from VP. They take map control. Also a bit of help from Gambit. They had to be a bit more proactive on A to sort of figure out what was happening. But this is problems that all Overpass team face, like even us, obviously, because we lost to VP. It is really tough to sort of, because if you have a smoke left on B, you can re-smoke monster and still play close, which means, okay, so I'm gonna write this on the map so you can see how this makes sense. Because if you have this smoke, you can play around here, which means you have much earlier information, because the earliest you would see them around here, and this gives more time. Let's say Nafani played around here, he would have time to go down bank and towards B, right? But if you're playing this far back, like, I don't know, like they had one guy here or here or something, when they're out, they're literally on the site already, and they're going to trade you, and the backup won't be there in time. So even if, let's say you get one, both get one, you're still gonna be in an evenly matched after plan situation, which obviously favors the T's. It's a great round there from VP, and some bad risk analysis there from Gambit. Okay, so now we're gonna look at round 11, the grand final of IEM Katowice, Gambit versus Virtus.pro. Now we're gonna watch some intelligent decision making here from Hobbit, and some good aggression from Gambit in general, and that's one of the main reasons why they managed to win Katowice in such a convincing manner as he did. So nothing special here in the beginning of the round. You see the regular monster smoke here, and they're gonna do a move that's very aggressive. It's not that uncommon to do. You're gonna see interns and Hobbit go hide in the this smoke. And for those who don't know, if you sit in the smoke, you get like a slight advantage when the smoke fades if someone's sitting outside of the smoke. So their thought process is if someone is sort of standing around here, peeking monster, or like maybe even around here, they will get the advantage, get the kill, and get the map control. So we're gonna actually follow Hobbit in this round now. See, the smoke disappears. He can't see anyone. Interns with him, clear, and now they leave him alone, which is very intelligent. He barely spots the guy here. Okay, and here it will separate him from other players, right? And this is why this is very, very intelligent. Because a lot of players, especially if you're playing matchmaking or whatever, right? You're like, I cleared B, guys, I'm gonna flank, and I'm gonna go behind them A, and I gotta get a, I don't know, a highlight reel, right? But what happens if you go here? First of all, look at how far this is. It takes forever. In many situations, the trades has already happened on A, and you're like, the bomb has been planted, and you're like sort of around here, and it's like super awkward, and the team's like, what the hell are you doing? What's much better is you stand here, you can't even push here towards sewers. Hobbit decided to stay here. He knows VP really likes to take A control and fall back, and he's probably gonna do a better job just staying here. He catches Kikert here, he sees his weapon, and he's just gonna straight passive. You don't even want to go for that engagement, because he's in a situation now where Kikert doesn't know that he knows. Gonna keep going here, and see, he waits for it, he waits for it. He wants them to commit to B. Now look at the time, 54 seconds. If they fall back now, which they sort of have to considering they left the bomb, and like, trust me, I've had this discussion with my team a billion times, like if you leave the bomb here, you better pick it up in time, because otherwise things might get really awkward. Because, yeah, they sort of force themselves to go B at this point. And here, Hobbit goes for the pick. He feels like the time is right. And imagine the panic now in the VP camp. Kikert dies here. They know that Gambit has full control. The bomb is still in T-spawn. So they have to fall back and pick it up. Obviously, Gambit doesn't know this. But they have so good control of B. And like if they were rotating back to go towards Monster, they would probably sort of be in a position where they would meet Hobbit. But Hobbit doesn't hear anyone. He can fall back. He knows that there's no one coming Monster in the next like 20-30 seconds, so they can just overstack A. Like, no worries, guys. I literally just left this area. No one shot me when I ran back here from over here, which means you don't really have to worry. And he even goes back for like jumping here, and he still has a smoke. Don't know if he stole that from Kikert. That would have been even more awesome. And you see here, yeah, this such an awkward position for VP, who's now forced to go towards A. And like now, even if VP wins, right, it doesn't matter. This is actually the Nathany round, the sick clutch he did. And in all honesty, like even James getting that first pick, even if VP wins that round, is just a matter of out-aiming and out-trading them, because Gambit clearly out-positioned them. They have the information, they were 3 guys on A, that's sort of all you can do, and that's also an important thing to think about when sort of you're trying to become better at CS. That's like, was it the tactic or our positioning that was bad, or was it we just lost our aim duels? Because even if Gambit lose that round, the decision making was sound. They had 3 guys on A, they would have just got out-traded. Obviously that it didn't happen, because Nathan is a 19-year-old IGL who just gets 4Ks versus VP, no problem. Which is a very good understanding there of the game from Hobbit. Really impressive stuff. So this was my second demo analysis here. This time I did a pro match, Gambit versus Virtus.pro. You can leave a comment down here if you have any more requests, and you're probably gonna see more demo reviews like this in the future.